How do we deal with potential management? If you're good at a number of different things, it can be confusing as to which direction to go in and how to deal with, and how do I deal with this? Yeah, this one was butchered a little bit. Also, I will tell you, if you're leaving a question, read the question. We're human beings. We're not robots. So, we got to read this thing back out. Sometimes you're typing all fast. There's tons of typos in it. Take your time. Take your time, man. You got infinity. Put the question out there so we can read it and really understand what you're saying. Read the question to yourself as if you're going to answer it, and ask yourself, is this phrase is the question properly? I'm just letting you know, like, we're here to assist you as much as possible. This costs you nothing. We don't even have to know that you're here. You can leave a question and, get your question answered, but at least do us a favor. Put that question in the proper context so that we can read it clearly. What this brother or sister is actually asking about is something that many always ask about, which is like, okay, kind of overwhelmed. It's like, we want to do everything. It's like, I got to go over here. I'm going to be a lawyer, and then I'm going to be a psychologist. I'm going to be a metaphysician, and then I'm going to do this. I'm going to sell these T-shirts, and it's like all this stuff going on because, of course, society promotes that. It kind of promotes that, you try to become the jack of all trades, but you got to be the master of all those trades too. And the reality is just not enough time in the day. Like, you sleep pretty much half of that time away, 8 hours maybe. Maybe you've got it down to 6. And then, there's all this other stuff that you got to do, like cook, use the bathroom and all that. That takes up another chunk. And then what's finally left there for you, especially if you have a job, is a very little, small, minuscule part of time that you have to spend on yourself. So this means that if you got all these endeavors, it's obvious that you're not going to really be able to get to those goals. And then what that means is sometimes you're depressed, you feel held back, you feel stagnated by everything going on around you. So how do we fix this? Okay, we fix this by first drilling into what we talked about before in relation to uniqueness. You don't need to be doing everything. You need to be doing what exactly you're designed to do. And that, just like a tree produces fruit, you can do that effortlessly. So it doesn't actually feel like there's this whole strain because now you got to go and learn something new in order to be able to grow whatever you're doing. Now you got to learn about all these different things. And now I will say, though, for the record, because I don't want to paint a picture for you that's not accurate. Generally, right now, in society, especially with us divided the way that we are, obviously this group is looking to continuously bring us all together so we can use our uniqueness and our own respective rights to increase us all as a whole. And we've designed something to actually do that, which I'll talk about later. But just as it is, it generally means sometimes if you really want to get things across, and most of the time, if you really want to get some things across, you want to see your manifestation happen, you may have to put on a few hats. I'm definitely not exempt to that. I'd be doing it all. Like, if anybody was sitting here, if I just did a time lapse, you would see me moving all over the place, doing all sorts of things, many of them in which not related at all, in order to push this projection and make it happen. But the reason why I'm doing that, because I am talented a bit in the multitasking area, is to actually make an environment and a reality that not only is going to be harmonic for me, meaning me not doing all of these different things that I know others are better at doing, but also just that first part of, well, somebody's got to do it. And instead of passing the buck on this and waiting for the gleaming in the sky to happen, and then all of a sudden, wazam, it's going to be there, I got to go ahead and dig in. And that's going to be my contribution to the universe and the cosmos this time in this space in my life. Now, in answering this question, what I'm coming at is first, are you doing what you're supposed to be doing, or are you doing something else? And this is very clear because I'm going to give you just a few pointers on how to create techniques or how to practice techniques that actually allow you to expunge your uniqueness from self, basically to figure out what is it that you really do. And this is going to be in more of what I say is like the boomerang way. You're going to go around and it's not even going to seem related, and then it's going to come back and it's going to be exactly what you want. So how we do this is first looking into you yourself and what kind of instrument you are. And I'm speaking literally here. What kind of instrument are you? And as an example, when I first jumped into a music course when I was young, like I guess I was maybe about 9, 10, 11 years old in elementary school, I went and joined jazz band. And I guess because of these lips or something, the instructor was like, you would be good at trombone. And then or you would be good at bass. Or actually, you know what? Now that I recall that properly, because that was his second statement, was like, yeah, you would be good at that. He said, which of all these instruments would you like to play? And I looked at all the instruments that were there, and I immediately became fascinated with this slide on the trombone, the whole slide thing, right? And I was like, that one. And he said, you would be really good at playing a trombone. And I guess it was a pun towards the lips. And so he says, all you got to do is just, you blow into this thing, but you make your lips buzz like, And I was like, I hit it that first time, boom, 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 boom. And I was like, okay, so that was my advent into a connection with something that I later on, years later, even all the way, like also in this kind of segment of time, realized was my consciousness saying, that's what I do. I hold up the baseline. I'm the foundation. I create the floor to this that everybody stands on and walks on and is able to cross over into other things. And I've been doing that all my life. That has actually, whether I knew that connection and that metaphysical awareness at that stage, which was obviously not in this literal kind of way, but I was bringing that out into the reality. And then, of course, I could play tuba because that's the same music. I could play trumpet really well. That's the same music, same mouthpiece, right? And that's what I have been doing inside the band. Now, of course, later on in life, I put the trombone down and picked up that work and all of what needs to actually be done in society to survive. And I started forgetting about that I even play this instrument, and I lost sight of it until I guess about 2 or 3 years ago when I bought another trombone off of eBay or Amazon. So here's the thing. The reason why I'm bringing this up, again, this is the boomerang throw, is that I was able to literally connect that the type of instrument I am is really what I am to be doing in this reality, okay? So to be very simple about this, you need to figure out what instrument you are. And you need to figure out how that plays in, especially to the energetic spectrum. Are you the bass? Are you holding the bass line? Are you the woodwinds? Are you all up in the air? Are you the harp? Are you the strings? You the chords? You need to figure this out. And I'm just answering this question directly about somebody that's overwhelmed, wants to do everything. You need to figure out what you really do and what is your contribution truly in this reality based on your body's instrument. And then you need to make that connection. And then when you reanalyze all of those different things that you have that you want to do, you'll easily be able to see, well, that's more related to the drums side of things. That's more related to this, that is exactly the energy that I have been giving off my whole life. And then you eliminate everything else, or you make it serve that purpose. That's another thing. You can start summarizing, because if you have a focal point and you say, well, this is what I'm going to do, all the other stuff that you work on becomes it becomes in service of allowing that to become the manifestation. And that's how you focus your energy. Okay, so I'm going to make it as simple as that.